Chad, thank you very much. And with that, we bring in Democrat Senator from Delaware, Chris Coons. He serves on the Foreign Relations and Judiciary Committees, both very powerful committees in the Senate. Senator, thank you very much. It's good to have you here. So you hear this back and forth that Chuck Schumer sort of got boxed in on this by AOC, who a lot of people think will try to primary him in the next round for his Senate seat. How do you see it?
Look, Martha, I see it the same way Congresswoman Dean does, who was just on your show a moment ago. My constituents care about their health care. They care about the big increases to health insurance costs that the Delaware Insurance Commissioner just filed and that the major health insurance companies in Delaware have just published they're going to be charging starting next month. And that's because of changes the Republicans who control Congress made in the so-called Big Beautiful Bill. I don't have any constituents calling me about AOC's secret influence on the shutdown. What matters is how do we get out of this shutdown? And I think there's a clear path forward. The committee that I'm on that you didn't mention, but that I value a lot, and so if I could add it, I'd appreciate it, is appropriations. And on the Appropriations Committee, we passed by a big bipartisan margin a new health spending bill and a new defense bill, and the health spending bill rejected Trump's cuts to NIH, cuts to CDC,
so why not just deal with that
cuts to medical
Senator?
research.
Why not just pass
and
the CR?
I am urging.
Yeah, and then, you know, I think John Thune has said that there's a good faith effort to take up this healthcare issue, but
Yes.
it seems that, you know, there is a lot of pressure, and it is political pressure, no matter how you want to look at it, to continue with this shutdown. Let me just play very briefly. This is John Thune last night addressing what you're talking about, and then I want to hear what your response to him is, Senator, please.
Sure.
I think a lot of these rank-and-file Democrats are looking for an off-ramp. The delusional, again, contortions they're going through to justify what they're doing on something that is, as you said, it's clean, it's nonpartisan, it is short-term, it has no gimmicks, we didn't put any partisan riders on it. I mean, this is something that should be a no-brainer.
Are rank-and-file Democrat senators looking for an off-ramp from this situation, Senator?
Rank-and-file Democratic senators, if that's, I will include myself in that group, are looking for a path forward where we reject some of Trump's deep cuts to health research and to health care, and that's what passing this health appropriations bill would achieve, and to negotiating a path forward on the ACA subsidies, on reducing the increase in health insurance costs. I discussed this with Senator Thune personally yesterday, and with Senator Schumer, and with a dozen other senators. I think we can find a path forward if folks are willing to negotiate in good faith.
So let me ask
for
you,
reversing the big costs for health care that Trump's decisions are imposing on the American people.
I see where you're coming from. So, but the question is, and let's put up this board, you have senators who voted for the same exact CR last time around. And then you have 3 of them who voted for this bill, Fetterman, Masto, and King from Maine, who are already on board this bill. So John Thune only needs a few people. He only needs to peel off a few Democrats to say that they will go along with this CR. Are you open to going along with the CR if you have what you feel is a strong enough assurance that this healthcare issue will be taken up on its own in good faith after the CR is released and people can get back to their jobs and, you know, the government can open up again?
So, Martha, I want a path forward where we reverse some of Trump's cuts to health care and we reverse some of the ways that health insurance costs are going through the roof. And that's what I'm looking for, is a good faith negotiation about how do we do that. Where John is right now, where Senator Thune is right now, is reopen the government and then we'll begin to talk. And what I'm saying, and many other Democratic senators who want us to appropriate, who want us to move forward, are saying, is we need to have that clear commitment and plan first before we reopen. I recognize that a shutdown hurts our troops, our federal law enforcement, folks who work for the federal government all over our country and who are deployed overseas. But it is a bigger harm to the American people to allow Trump's cuts to health care to continue. We need a path forward together to change direction, to reduce prices, and invest more in Americans'
How
health.
many other
and I do think
people-
that's achievable.
How many other Democrats feel the way you do? And if I'm hearing you correctly, it sounds like you're saying that if you get the assurance that you can have the debate over this health care, which I would just remind people, these changes were made as part of the big, beautiful bill in order to cut spending. And, on the Republican side, they would say, some waste from Medicaid spending, and to make sure that people who are able-bodied have to actually get a job in order to receive these benefits, all of that. So are you willing to sign the CR if you have that assurance? And how many other Democrats do you think will come along with you?
Martha, the issue that's right in front of us that is causing health insurance rates to go up in Delaware and every other state is the Obamacare or the
Subsidy.
Affordable Care Act subsidies.
Right.
That expire at the end of this year.
Correct.
So why do we have to deal with it now? Why can't we wait till December? Why can't we talk? Why can't we reopen the government and then talk? Because insurance companies have to set those rates now. So we need a path for reversing those cuts, for extending the Affordable Care Act subsidies, which only benefit Americans. And that is something I'm willing to negotiate about. But I'm not going to vote to reopen the government until I see a way that we can do that. I'm sorry?
I was just adding that there are people who came to the country illegally, who got looped in under temporary protection status, who do receive those benefits. And we're going to get into that a little bit deeper in the next. Yes, there are. There are people who have temporary protection status, which makes them, quote, legal. And that's why they're falling under this legal protection, because it was expanded during COVID. And that's, I understand that there's two sides to this argument, but those are the people that are getting argued over right now.
There's not two sides to this argument. The president said Democrats want to give a gold-plated Medicare program for illegal aliens. That's not true. You can only benefit from the Affordable Care Act, Medicare and Medicaid, if you have legal status in this country.
Which was broadly expanded.
We are not
COVID.
fighting for health care for people who are here illegally. That's not true. But we are fighting for health care for Americans.
All right. I understand and appreciate your point on that. We're going to hear John Cornyn's point on that in moments. So, Senator, thank you very much. It's always good to have you here. We like to hear both sides. Thank you very much, sir. Coming up.